A creative woman's greatest tragedy is her pattern in self-betrayal. Women self-betray by working jobs they don't like. Women self-betray by staying in relationships that deaden them. Women self-betray by going against themselves, going against their natural energies. Women self-betray by staying in bad environments that don't cater to their growth. In so many ways, women have been taught and they live a life in which they always go against their natural energy. They always go against what is natural to them. However, what must be understood is self-betrayal is taught. So if you've seen your mother or your grandmother or your aunties and your sisters, if you saw these women always go against themselves, right? They worked jobs they hated, job to job. They did things out of the ordinary that they really didn't want to do. They lived in marriages they didn't like. Through all of these things, you have learned to go against yourself. You learn to go against your naturalness. And this is how the creative woman self-betray. This is where we see self-betrayal first be born. It is first born through women looking at the visual of a woman close to her self-betraying. Through every pattern, there are visuals to go with it. A daughter seeing her mother hate her life, dislike her life, and then show that to her daughter through her actions. Maybe this mom very abusive. Through this, a daughter sees that, okay, women cannot lead good lives. Women cannot be joyful with their lives. This is how self-betrayal is birthed. If you came from an immigrant family, this is also a factor because you've seen your family, you've seen your parents force their taming to meet the demands of society. So from this, you learn that your naturalness, your dreams is a threat. You learn to go after what you want is a threat because your family had to force their taming in order to help you, in order to get you to where they felt like you needed to be. So through this, you learn to demonize your natural desires. You learn to demonize your dreams. Stability and security is the number one way that women self-betray. Creative women were told that their creativity cannot be expressed. Their creativity cannot be full-time because of stability. When they were making laws and regulations and rules of this society, the number one person that they were attacking was creative women. If we exhaust the woman, if we take the creative woman's liberation and freedom, we can create a society that is easily controlled. We can create a society that is deadened. To create a society of women that are not happy with their lives, to create a society of women, creative women who are not in their creativity, you can further the idea that the source of empowerment, their source of joy, their source of love exists outside of them. It does not exist within them. It exists outside of them. So the money they want, the joy they want, the empowerment they want, the freedom they want. If we can deaden the creative woman, if we can take her soul interest and her soul passions and her spirit, we can implement this idea that everything exists outside of the woman. If she ever needs something, she will have to go outside of herself. We have to rid the idea that the woman herself is not magnetic enough. The woman herself is not the source. So your low self-esteem truly comes from the fact that society has created laws and regulations towards you and towards the fact that you cannot be the source. You cannot get everything just by you being you, right? So now that furthers this idea that I am not enough. I don't have enough. My womanness is not enough. Because when they were making laws and rules and regulations, I repeat myself, they were targeting creative women with soul interest. And from this is where we see the pattern of self-betrayal deepen even more. It is a woman's greatest tragedy. We must take the creative woman resources and we must give her 9 to 12 hour work shifts. We must give her rigorous bosses. We must give her tedious essays due by 12. We must give her hyper dependence on the family. We must give her debt and grueling payments. We must give her all of these things because the more we do this, we exhaust her and we exhaust her and we exhaust her. In a matter of time, she's going to forget that she is the source. That's the goal. That was the intention when society was making rules, laws, and regulations. It was to make you forget, woman, that you are the source. In return, women learn to create these alternatives for their natural energy for survival. In return, you learn that your natural energy will not take you far. So you make alternatives. You create these substitutes, right? This sounds like a woman saying, I can work the 9 to 5. It will help with stability. Stability is a poison to creative women. A 9 to 5 will do. I can work it and just do my passions on the side. Oh, well, my kids, they need this and that, so I can put it on the side. I'll book the flight later on. I'll finish the book later on. I'll finish songwriting later on. Who's going to hear it anyways? I'll book the flight later on. You've created a life where you go against yourself. We see a woman who has created a life in which she demonized her own natural energy. She sees her natural energy as a threat, and she does it out of survival. Her self could be calling for a place, however, her soul self calls for a home. Early self-betrayal in children looks like a child not showing their artwork in front of class no more. It looks like a child no longer singing in front of the family. It looks like a child no longer going outside and picking up roly-polies and letting the caterpillar climb up their arm. This is where we can see self-betrayal develop within a child. That child begins to go against their natural energy. And it is the most saddest thing to witness. And it comes from a rejection that is received that taught the child, that told you that your natural energy was not stable enough. Your natural energy will not guarantee you security. So from that, you've learned that, okay, I am not safe in this society. So therefore, let me create alternatives. Let me create a substitute to hide what I truly want. Let me create an alternative to hide the things that I truly desire out of my lifetime. Let me make myself so small so I don't trigger the masses. Good enough is never enough for the creative soul, right? And from self-betrayal, you begin to lead a good enough life. You begin to lead a life that is, it'll work, it'll do. That's not enough for creative women. That's not enough for the creative spirit. And you've learned to lead this life of, it'll do for now. Whatever. That is not enough for the creative spirit. I will repeat myself. A good enough life is not enough for the creative spirit. The moment a woman is leading a good enough life, this is the point where a woman is killed off spiritually. She's killed off emotionally, and she's killed off mentally. And from the stress, it'll soon be physically. At this point, we see the woman begin to become very envious of women who are leading in their natural energy. This woman begins to become envious of those who have the lives that she wished to lead. This woman begins to have a bad attitude because she hates the life that she leads. A woman who is in her natural energy and she's living off of that, her attitude is amazing. She has a beautiful attitude. Women who have a bad attitude, women who lead with such a nasty attitude are women who are self-betraying. Bad attitudes come from a woman living in her own self-betrayal. From her constant rejection of herself, now she takes that and she rejects the world and she rejects the people in this world because she first rejected herself. She rejects women. She rejects women who are happy because from that, they shed a mirror on her own unhappiness. This truly goes so deep. Self-betrayal is the number one killer of women. If you look around you, you will see the pattern of self-betrayal in the women around you. A good enough life is the life that a woman takes on when she's being killed off spiritually. She's being killed off emotionally. She's being killed off mentally, right? And the thing about it is women cannot bear lies for too long. So at this point, when a woman is leading a good enough life, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out, because women cannot lead a lie for too long. They can't bear it for too long. And when the truth do come out, it usually erupts from her. This is why oftentimes you see women getting tattoos, they get piercings, they sneak out, they rebel. It's because that freedom, that need for sovereignty, if it's not being expressed, it seeps out. It comes out in some sort of way. All women want sovereignty. All women want freedom. If women are not given freedom, it will come out in a volatile way. And so in self-betrayal, we see a woman who wants to go after something. She wants this thing. However, because she has gone unexpressed for so long, whenever it comes out and it erupts out, right? It erupts. And the thing about it is, women cannot hide lies for too long. Women cannot hide the truth for too long. Some sort of way the truth is coming out. If you pay attention to the woman a little bit closer, you will see the truth coming out in a little speck. It may not be all out, but in some way, her truth is there. You just have to pay attention to her. Another example of this is a woman coming home from a 12-hour shift and she finally has the breakdown. Breakdowns are a good thing because at least we know the woman is not satisfied with her life. At least we know the woman is not satisfied with the life that she is leading. Mental breakdowns are a good thing because mental breakdowns are the truth finally coming out. When a woman is mentally breaking down, that's the truth finally being revealed. A woman silent is more dangerous than a woman having the mental breakdown. At least we know over here. But a silent woman tells us that she's being killed off, that she is dying. However, the mental breakdown shows that she's still somewhere here. And from that, the breakthrough can come in. The thing about it is, self-betrayal can only be exposed through that breakdown. The harshness of the self-betrayal cycle and pattern is shown through that breakdown. And through that breakdown, the woman is able to see how harsh the cycle is. And from there, she can work on her breakthrough. If she's silent, if she's compliant, it is because she is killed off. Woman is in breakdown, the wild woman can finally speak to her. When you ignore her, you become the wild woman, however, in a different version. This version is violent. This version is aggressive, and it wishes to target any woman who is expressing her natural creative energy. If you ignore the wild woman, you will become a different version of the wild woman, and this version is no longer sacred. It isn't the sacred wild woman. It is the wild woman full of rage and anger and violence. And she will target any woman who wished to express her creative energy. This is why mothers who never went after their passions, they target their daughters who are very creative. It is because since that mother ignored her own inner wild woman that was sacred and told her to follow after her dreams, and she killed that woman off, now she's gonna kill off any other wild woman that she sees. So she sees her daughter who is creative and have passions and dreams. It is this urge in her to kill it off, because a woman who is not in that creative energy, if she's being killed off spiritually, when a woman is in that, when she's compliant, she becomes dangerous to other women who wish to express, to other women who wish to be in that natural energy. She is no longer a safe woman. Now she's a danger to other women, and that is not what we want. We want to embody the wild woman and her sacredness. This is why we listen to her. This is why when she says to go after it, you go after it. This is why when she says to express it, you express it. This is why when she says to be silent, you be silent. This is why when she says to speak up and shout and scream and cry, you do it. Because it is her words, it is her wisdom, it is her sacredness that will lead you to your greatest and most fulfilling life. Who is wild woman? Because I always say this. Who is the wild woman? The wild woman is the instinctive. She is the unashamed, the unapologetic, the expressive. She is the free, sovereign woman that lies within you. However, you was taught to be afraid of the wild woman. So now you hide from her. You were taught from your family that the wild woman comes to kill and destroy, when it's actually the opposite. You've learned to be afraid of this part of you. Be afraid of the wild woman is to be afraid of yourself because she lives within you. And from patriarchy and from the generations of women who, taught you that your natural energy was bad, you've learned to run from her. Whenever you have a passion and a dream, you run from it and you scream and you hide, and your family encourages this because you were taught that that woman is evil. She is demonic, and she's not. She's free. She's instinctive. She is unashamed. And these are the very traits that society hates within a woman. And this lies within you. This is the wild woman. You also run out of fear because you understand and you know subconsciously that this wild woman requires sacrifice. In order to be initiated into this path of wild woman, you have to be able to sacrifice. You have to be able to sacrifice anything that is stopping you from going full force towards her. And a lot of women run at this point. A lot of women turn at this point. What do you mean sacrifice? What do you mean let go of my family? What do you mean move away from my hometown? What do you mean leave the marriage? What do you mean? She is going to require you to make sacrifices. And this is the thing that a lot of women are not prepared for. So they run and they scream and they hide when she wants to lead you into your most fulfilling life. If you are not ready for sacrifice, if you are not ready to give up anything that is stopping you from going full force towards her, you are not ready for the initiation. And from that, you will further your pattern in self-betrayal. The wild woman comes to stop the pattern of self-betrayal. Whatever is stopping you, whatever is continuing this cycle, this harsh cycle, the wild woman comes in to rid it. The wild woman comes in to take you away from that. And if you are not ready to give up anything that is clinging you to that self-betrayal cycle, you're not ready for her. And a lot of women have to be honest with themselves and ask, am I ready for her? Do I want to sacrifice? And if you are not at this point, you are not ready for initiation. Wild woman is intuition. She is discernment. She is the gut feeling. She lives within the woman. She is the woman that directs women. She is the woman that warns women. She is the woman that leads women. This is the wild woman. You are her. Without wild woman, you see women denying their natural pleasures. You see women being tied to rigorous, grueling bosses. You see women always going against themselves. This is the dangers of ignoring the wild woman. Without wild woman, this is what causes the breakdown of mother-daughter relationships. This is what causes women to self-harm. This is what causes women to form depression and anxiety and sickness. Because without that wildness, women cannot be fully expressive. Women cannot fully live. You can meet wild woman in your work cubicle. You can meet her in your bad marriage. And you can meet her in your toxic environment. She comes to liberate women. She comes to rescue women. She comes to set women free. She can only come to you if you are fully receptive of all of what she has to express. If you are closed off, if you are not ready to receive, you will not get the gifts of the wild woman. You will not be able to meet her and in return break that self-betrayal pattern. A world without creative women is a world going mad. And this is what we see within self-betrayal, a world going mad. It isn't normal. And you learn time and time again from seeing people around you do it, that it's normal. It's normal that mom hates her job. It's normal I hate my job. It's normal that I put my passions on the side. And it's not normal. It isn't normal. It isn't normal at all. At all. Your family encourages your self-betrayal. Oh, don't get that divorce. Oh, go and work because you need to pay the bills. Oh, just save the songwriting for later. Right now, you need to finish college and get your job. You've learned through your family that self-betrayal is the answer. That going against myself is the answer. When a woman initiates and she begins to meet the wild woman, this is when the woman begins to turn to her family and she begins to become angry, and it's righteous anger. She becomes angry because for the longest time, my family told me that I was not correct, that I was not valid, that I wasn't valid for things that I wanted. And at this point of initiation, she questions her family, and she questions the way life is, and she questions the way their life is, and she's questioning, and she's questioning, and she's questioning, and she's demanding answers. And she demands answer because the wild women have told her that this life does not have to be what is. This life does not have to be what is. It can be different. And from that, you grow an anger because you realize that you was lied to. And no woman wants to be lied to. Tame mothers, tame aunties, tame grandmothers, tame fathers, a tame family cannot raise a wild daughter. The question at this point is, how can a woman release the self-betrayal pattern? Okay, how can I break the self-betrayal pattern? And I am here to give you the answer. As women, you must understand that you are oftentimes compared to the trickster archetype. And you are compared to the trickster archetype because women are never what they seem at face value. A woman's truth is never telling at face value. Oftentimes, to realize a woman's truth, to get the truth about a woman, you have to look beyond her. You have to look in her innermost, deepest parts. It's never coming to you at face value. In order to break the pattern of self-betrayal, and I quote the book Women Who Run the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I love her so much. Love that book, and I'm going to quote the book. You must first lift the veil. And what I mean by this is you must break the illusion. What women must understand is your self-betrayal is only telling that you are under some sort of strong illusion. Illusion is an image that is not real. For example, heat waves on a road makes the road look wavy. Yes, there are heat waves. However, the road isn't actually wavy. That's just an illusion. Women in self-betrayal are under some sort of illusion. They're taking the truth of something at face value. They see something and they take that at face value. Women, the truth is never coming to you at face value. If you want to realize the truth about something, you have to look beyond yourself. You have to look beside. You have to look under and not take the first image of which you see as the entire truth. This is how you break the self-betrayal, is by lifting the veil. And when you initiate, you'll find the veil lifting when you initiate. You must demand answers. You must question everything. You must question your surroundings. You must question the environment that you're in that caused your self-betrayal. You must question everything around you and demand answers and keep demanding them until you get the answers. This is how you break the illusion of your self-betrayal. This is how you lift the veil, by questioning and demanding answers from everything. And if it cannot give you an answer, if it cannot give you a clear answer, then you know it is not the truth. Remember, the truth is always somewhere hidden like Easter eggs. The truth is never really knocking on your door. Liberation and freedom is never really knocking on your door. You will have to look beyond. You will have to look beside. You will have to look under. You must demand and demand and demand and keep searching for that truth. But realize the truth is never coming to you at face value. This is why women are oftentimes, I repeat myself, they're compared to the trickster archetype because a woman's truth is never at face value. It is always somewhat beyond her. This is how we break the self-betrayal pattern. It is by breaking whatever illusion that we're under. It is by questioning everything around us until we can get a clear answer. If there is no clear answer, that tells you that is not the full truth. And that is when you must go beyond yourself to discover the full truth. As you lift the veil, it is important that you let go of anything attached to that veil, attached to that illusion. What got you into this deception? What have deceived you? And you have to be open to making the sacrifices to let go of the illusion so you can lift this veil and figure out the full truth of your reality. The thing is, as women, the most beautiful thing is our liberation. It is our freedom. In order to get to your liberation, you must be breaking the illusions that is stopping you and deceiving you that you cannot have this very thing that you can have. This in all is how we break the self-betrayal pattern. It is by ending the illusions and ending the deception. This is how women will save themselves. This is how creative women save their creations. And this is how wild women stay wild. I'll see you guys soon in another YouTube video. Before we go, I want to mention my services that I offer to women who are 18 and older. I do one-on-one mentorship for women who are 18 and older. If you want to work with me, go to my YouTube in bio and click my mentorship link. And I also have a course available for anyone who wants to learn how to navigate without the family support. My course link for Sovereign Womanhood is in my link in bio. Please go and look into my services if you are interested and want to join and want to enroll. I cannot wait to meet you and I cannot wait to work with you. I'll see you guys soon.